Okay, so last session we have discussed about the static variable. Okay, we have already started the discussion about the static keyword. So we said that static can be applicable to the variable, static can be applicable to the method, static keyword can be applicable to the block, and the static keyword can be applicable to the class, we can say. So according to that, static instance variable, we can say. Then we have the static method, static block, and a static class. So we already discussed about the static variable. So simple class variable, we can declare it as a static by using a static keyword. So if you declare the member as a static, then memory for that particular variable is allocated only once while creating a first object of that class, and that memory will be get shared among all other object. Okay, so whenever we have the data which is common in all object, so we should declare that member as a static so that it will use memory efficiently. So that is what the discussion about the static variable. Today we have to discuss about a static method. We have to discuss about a static method. I can simply say about this method. Simple method can be declared as a static. Method can be declared as a static by using static keyword. Okay, very simply. So for example, see, assume we have the class. Okay, here is our class name. Okay, and in that one we can put a method, simple normal method, like see, this is a public void, assume like a display method is there. Okay, so in that method I want to declare this method as a static, so I can use a static keyword like this one, static public void display, or I can use this after the public. That is what the access modifier. So public static void display, public static void display. So if we declare any method as a static, if you declare any method as a static by using this keyword, then that method is not belong to any object. It is belongs to class. It is belongs to class. So as this is how the way we can declare the method as a static, then what is the use of this? What is the use of this? So use, we can say, it's use to access, it's used to access static members of a class, static members of a class directly, static members of a class directly. So whenever we have to access the static members of a class, whenever we have to access the static members of a class directly, we should go for a static method of a class. Okay, so but while doing that one, we need to remember that static method is invoked by using class name, by using I can simply say class name without object, that means what? See, if I have to invoke this one method, I can directly write like this one, class name dot display, like this, class name dot display. So if I return like this one, it will invoke this one method. Whatever the members here are there, we can access that. So here in the display, I can say only static members can be accessed directly. Means what? Assume like in this class we have the integer one number. we have the integer number. Okay, it is the non-static, and I do have the static integer c and t count. Okay, like this one. So if I write like this one, if I write like this some system dot out dot println, okay, inside that one I try to display the number. I try to display the number, or before going for this, I just try to assign the value to that variable here. Number is equals to 10, like this one. So both the lines give error. Both the lines give a error over here. Both the lines will give a error over here because num is a non-static member. This is a non-static. This is the non-static member, and non-static member cannot be accessed directly. But assume like here we have the another one method which is non-static. Public void assume like a show method is there. Okay, and in that show method, you guys know that here I can directly use num system.out.println, and here I just try to display the num, and there will be no problem. Here, if it is system.out.println, and if I try to display the count, and there will be no problem because this is the non-static member. It is the member of that class. And if I have written like this one, all the members which I have declared over here, I can directly access here. This is what the normal method we are already used. Now, when we come to the static, only static members can be accessed directly. Only static members can be accessed directly. See, so like this one. Okay. Now, if I try to do like this one, system.out.println, and in this one, I try to write the CNT. I try to write the CNT and no error. There will be no error over here. Why no error? Because CNT is a static. So static member can be accessed directly, but a non-static member cannot be accessed directly. If we try to write like this one, compiler gives the error. So I mention over here that why we go for static, it is used to access a static members of a class. So whenever we have to access the static member, we should go for the static method. We should go for the static method, we can say. So very few things about this one. To declare method as a static, I can use a static keyword. Okay. Second thing, it is used to access the static members of a class directly. And third one, it is invoked by using a class name. It is invoked, it is called by using a class name. Okay. And next very important thing here I can say about this one, or here I can say restrictions about this one. What are the restrictions here? One thing about this one, one note is that we can't use non-static members directly. This is what the first note. And there will be a second note. Is that we can't use super and this keyword in a static method. So this is what the very basic thing about the static method I can say. Okay. So I just go for showing this one through the Eclipse so that it will be get clear. It's taking time. Launch. Okay. So very simply in the this demo project, I will just use the previous class which we have used for the static variable. Loading. Okay, in that one, SRC. Okay, in which we have done this. In the keywords, final employee. Okay. So here actually we have created static employee ID, employee name and a salary. Sorry, small normal employee ID, name and a salary. And here we have declared the name of the company as a static. Icons technology we have taken. Okay, with that one we have created one constructor. We have created one constructor. Okay, and a getter setter method. With that one, I will create another one static method. Sorry, static variable, static integer count. Okay, by default its value will be a 0. By default its value will be a 0. So whenever it comes to this one constructor, I just write a cnt plus plus, cnt plus plus, okay, or count plus counter plus plus, okay, to check how many objects have been created. Okay, and here now I want to write one more method. I want to write one more method, that is what the static method. So here static void display, static void display, and in that one, in that display method, in that display method, I can simply write sysout company name and the counter I want to display. So company is equals to, okay, plus company. Okay, and the second thing I will just simply write sysout, okay, counter is equals to plus, and I can simply write a count. So as these both the variables are static, both the variables are static, so there is no any error it is giving. But if I write here sysout, and here if I write employee ID, emp ID, employee ID like this one, and you can see simply it is giving the error. It is simply giving the error. What it is, cannot make a static reference to the non-static field employee ID. Okay, employee ID, name, salary, I can't use. I can't use because it is giving the error over here. But there is no problem. So I will put this one into the comment like this. Okay. So this is what the static method I have written. Okay, I will make it as a static public. Okay, static public void display. There is no error. Okay, or even I can use this static keyword after this one, after the public. So the place of that one is interchangeable. We can make static before or after like this one. So public static void display. So display is a static method. Okay, I can write a public void show, public void show. It is the non-static member method. It is a non-static method, and the same thing I can put over there. Same thing I can put over here, control V. Same thing I can write here. With that one, I can write sys out. Okay, and here I can write amp id, and you can see there is no error. You can see there will be a no error. Why no error? Because it is the normal method. Normal method can access the member of that particular class as it is directly, but a static method can access only static members directly. So now if I have to go for the test, I just go for new class. I'm writing test static method. Test static method like this one. I have created one class. Okay, main, and you can simply see. I just going here. Okay, I will not create any object of employee. Without creating object, employee dot, I can say display. Employee dot display, and you can see there is no any error, there is no any problem, as this is the static method invoked using a class name, no need to create object, directly we can call. And you can see I will just simply run this. Okay, I will simply run this, and you can observe the command console. You can see company is equal to iCons technology and counter is equal to 0. Default value of a static variable is 0. Default value of a static variable is 0. Okay. Now if I try to write like employee dot show, and you can see show can't be called. Here actually it will be not, because it is non-static method. It is a non-static method, and a non-static method can't be invoked by using object. Compulsory you have to use object of that class. So assume like I'm just going to create object employee emp1 is equals to new employee. Okay, in a bracket I can just simply write here 101 comma, in this one I can just simply put the RAM. Okay, and then comma. Okay, here I can simply say 60. So this is what my first object I created, employee emp2 is equals to new employee. Okay, and in a bracket I just put it 102. Okay, here I just written jam. Okay, and here is 75 like this one. So this is how I have created the two objects. Again I will write the same statement here, employee dot display. Now the counter value will be get changed, because you know as we create object of class, it will invoke the constructor. In constructor it will increment the counter. Okay, no doubt that name of the company will remain same. Okay, so I can just simply writing here. Okay, and here icons technology displaying twice. Okay, here 2 and here 2, and counter becomes 2, because as I create object of class, it goes here in the constructor. Okay, and there I have put it the count plus plus. Whatever that count initial value 0, that will be get incremented by first object, then second object. Okay, but if I invoke this counter value again by using emp1 dot, I just written a show. See, okay, emp1 dot show or emp2 dot show. For both the objects, value will be same. Value will be same, since both are sharing same memory for the static variables, we can say. So see, company name iCons technology, counter is 2. Okay, and here counter is 2. Okay, it is showing the ID like employee ID 2, we are displaying that 102 101, but counter is 2. Company name is iCons here, and here too company name is iCons. So like that one, like this show and this show is a non-static method, and hence we need object. But if display is a static, and here without creating object of a class, we can invoke that method. Okay, so simply if I try to write like this one, emp1 dot display, emp1 dot display, and even emp2 dot even I return the display, and you can see both I have written like this one, and there is no any problem. There is no any problem over here. Why? Because static method can be invoked by using a class name as well as by using object name. But non-static method will be invoked by using only object. By using a class, we cannot invoke. Okay. So that is the reason actually. See, the data which is common in EMP1 and EMP2, the data which is common in both the object or all the object, that is we have put it in the display, and hence it is calling, it is invoking them, and it is going to be displayed. But if I have displayed employee ID, if I have displayed employee ID, it will get confused from which one employee ID I have to display. Is it from employee 1 or employee 2, which one? So directly we can't use. If we want to use that one, if you want to use that one through other object, here we can create object, and through that we can access, definitely we can do that one. But here in this way we can't access, we can't use that particular name. With that one I said simply that I can't use this, I can't use this over here. Okay, see, it is simply not able to give any suggestions to me over here. Okay, but if in the show, if I use here in the show, you can see this dot, and you can see it is showing me the suggestion, employee ID, name, salary, cloning equals, which one you have to call. So here this is working in the show, but here if I tried this dot, and it is not showing me any suggestion, because this is not allowed over here. Okay, second thing about the super dot employee ID, whatever, if we have to call, okay, that base class, that is what the object is, a base class for this one. So even though we try to access that methods, we can't. But same, if a super I try to write here, if I try to write here super dot, and you can see it is showing me the methods, of the object class, because you guys know that object is a base class for all the classes present in a Java, whether it is a user defined or the standard methods. Okay, so object is a base class, so we can use a super keyword to access that members. So non-static member can use super as well as this, but here we can't use super and this keyword. So I just simply putting here super and this keyword, can't be used. Super and this keyword cannot be used over here. Yes, clear?
Oh, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, now I will move to the, but before moving to this, I just want to show you, before using this, actually we have already one method here. We have used static method, public static void main, here we have used. So main method is always declared as a static, or main is a static method, and we just have the discussion about the static method. So here why main is declared as a static, why main method is declared as a static. So simply we can say it is because the object is not required to call the static method. Object is, we know that object is not required to call the static method. Okay. So if I have put this main as a non-static, compulsory I have to create object of this class. I have to create object of this class. But this method is not invoked by developer. This method is invoked by JVM. This method is invoked by JVM. So if this method was a non-static, JVM have to create this object, this class object. Then only it will be able to call that method. So it will be an extra burden on JVM. It will be a extra burden on a JVM to allocate the memory. Okay. So hence to reduce this one, we declare method as a static, main method as a static. So as we have declared the main as a static, we can, JVM will call that method without creating object. That means what? Using a class name. So see here, I can simply say about this one, main is invoked by JVM. Main is invoked by JVM without creating object. Okay. It is invoked by using a class name. Hence we can say, hence it is static. It is declared as a static. So that is the reason, actually, that is the reason we have declared main method as a static method. Okay, so I can simply say here, why main is a static? Because it is been invoked by the JVM without creating object. And if any method we have to invoke, we have to call without using object, you must have to declare it as a static. And that is the reason here we have declare main as a static, or we have to compulsory declare method as a static. Yes, clear, Sandesh?
Oh, sir.
Okay, good. So now I will move to the next important topic, but again very simple one topic, that is what? Static block. So like a variable and the method, we can declare a block even as a static block. What is exactly the block? Block is nothing but the pair of curly braces. I can write like this one: opening and closing bracket. So whatever we have put here in between this one, so it is called as a block. So we can put some statement. So normally we can put this one block. In the method. Okay. But in the Java, we can create this static block. By using a static keyword simply. So like this one, see. Static opening and closing bracket. So this block we call it as the static. Okay, so this is how we can declare a block as a static. So if we declare a block as a static, it is invoked. It is called before executing any method of that class. Okay, so that means what? Before executing the method of a class, static block will be get executed. Then why it has been used? So see, actually, if we have to go for some pre-initialization. We have to go for some pre-initialization before creating even object. Before creating even object, we should go for a static block. We should go for a static block. So it is very simple block. Some pre-initialization code, some pre-initialization task we can just put over here. Okay, but if we have the multiple static blocks, if we have the multiple static block, then it will be get executed. It will be get executed in the sequence. I can write here multiple static block here 1, okay, here block 2, and here I just put it a block as a 3. Okay, so all these are 3 static block I can put like this one. Okay, but if multiple static blocks are there, it will be get executed in a sequence. It will be executed in a sequence. Okay, that is block 1 first, block 1, then block 2, then block 2, okay, then block or we can say finally block 3, finally block we can simply say 3. Okay, and then whatever the method it have to be get executed, it will be get executed. That means that even it will be get executed before the constructor. It will be get executed before the constructor. So to understand this, let me show you through the Eclipse. Okay, I just go for it. I will show you the static block. Here in this one itself, I will put a static block. See, I just have put it this one, Control V. Okay, and in that one, this is the static block 1 assume. Okay, here I will put a sys out. Okay, and here I can write in static block 1. In a static block 1 like this one, I can just Control A. Okay, like this one. I don't want to write that much things over here. Okay, I just write here sys out. In main method, main start, I can say in main start. Okay, and I will put here sys out in main end. In main end, I am putting like this one, and here I have put a static. Okay, so I want to execute this. I want to execute this, and you can see, and it will be get executed only once. It will be get executed only once. So I just have put it like this one. You can see if you go to the starting, first it have been displayed as static block 1. Then it entered into the main, and then other part will be get executed, and finally in main end it is been written like this. I just will remove this one part. I don't want to go for this. Okay, I just go to the ones employee display like this one, Control S, so that it will be easily clear to you guys. Okay, I just have written like this. You can see in a static block 1, in main start, company icons counter is 0, and in main end like this one. Okay, now if I have put a multiple static block like this one, Control C, Control V, Control V like this one, static block 2. Okay, then I have put a static block, we can say 3. Here too, I just have to put here static block 3. And this is what the static block 2 like this. Okay, again you can see as multiple blocks are there. If I try to execute this, you can simply see about this. In a see, before executing this one, it goes to the static block 1, static block 2, static block 3 like this. Okay, now from this main I am going to the employee display here, but in a employee here itself I will try to put a static block. I will try to put a static block over here. So I just written here control V. Okay, static block 1 in employee. Static block 1 in employee. Like this one I have written. Okay, that means what? When I come here for the display, when I come for the display one, it will execute that one before. So I just try to write this one. I just go for this, try to execute, and you can see the output here. You can see the output. Static block 1, static block 2, static block 3, main start. Okay, as main is get start, I invoked the this display. That means that it goes there in the employee.java, but there it observes that there is a static block. So it executed that static block. Then it is executed that display, and again it comes back and it executed the main method. It executed the main method. Now see, assume like I have invoked this method twice. I have invoked this method twice. Control C, Control V. Okay, like this one. Okay, and you can see that even though I have called display start twice, that it will display method will be get executed twice, but a static block will be get executed only once. You can see here, only once here. No doubt, display is been called twice here as well as here. Okay, so that means what? Before entering to that particular class, it will execute that static block. It will execute that static block. And if more than one static block is there in a sequence of return, first one return, second, third one. So first will be get executed, then second, then third one, like this one. So it is very important block which is used for the pre-initialization. That means what? Even before executing the constructor, before creating the object of that class, it can be